Hey, Queen. So, question for you. Have you ever compared yourself with a friend, family member, anyone? Have you compared yourself with anyone and you thought, wow, that person has it all together. Their life must be perfect. They must be, they probably don't have a care in the world. Everything just comes easily for them. They are just, you know, the best ever. You're like their biggest fan. And you're wondering, wow, how can someone's life be so perfect? And when you look at them, you think perfection, perfection, perfection. And when you look at yourself and your life, you're thinking, oh, there's so many things that you need to work on. And for that reason, you're looking at what you're doing wrong and what's wrong with you versus what's right with you. So I just wanted to leave you with a quick word, and that word is, you deserve it. You deserve the very best. Everything that is the best that has your name written on it, you deserve it. And one of the things that I tend to practice, or that I learned recently, I should say, is that you have to be your biggest fan. Fan, Fan. I don't know why I just said fanned. That's my accent. The island girl, fanned. You have to be your biggest fan. And when you're your biggest fan, you will have so many people who want to join the club, right? And in order to be your biggest fan, you've got to be your biggest cheerleader. You've got to be your biggest supporter, your biggest director, your biggest coach. You've got to be your biggest all in all friend, partner, everything. You've got to be your biggest girlfriend. You've got to be your biggest boyfriend, all of that. You've got to be everything that you need to yourself. Everything that someone would expect in a best friend, you will be that and more. So you've got to really amp up your, celebrity status with yourself, and consider yourself to be a celebrity, on the inside. When you go out and about and you do your thing and you go to work and, you do what you have to do, you're really, and if you're a teenager or if you're a college student, if you're an adult, a grown adult, and you go to school, maybe you're a student, you've got to look at yourself as, I am my biggest fan, right? So when I go to class, and I'm in class and, I'm in a classroom with other students, hey, I'm my biggest fan. So as my biggest friend, I'm going to tell myself, I'm going to get an A in this class. I'm going to study. And not only am I going to study, I'm going to retain this information. And if I cannot retain it, I'm going to ask for help. Right? I'm going to ask the teacher, other students, and whatever I need to do to be, again, I'm my biggest fan. So I've got to make myself proud, right? Yes, I've got to make myself proud. And then on top of that, that is where being your biggest fan and your biggest cheerleader and your biggest supporter, that extends to, making the right decisions. If I make the wrong decisions, kind of backpedaling to see what could I have done better in this thing. So again, a lot of my videos talk about self-talk, and self-talk is really important because you're always with yourself. You're always around yourself. You can never get away from yourself. And that's one of the things that, people don't like about inner work, inner introspective work, is that you've got to look at yourself in the mirror. You've got to really, really deal with yourself and be honest with yourself and tell yourself what you do not like about yourself. You've got to really, really go deep. And you've got to really, really be honest with yourself and see what the roadblocks are in your life. So it's one of those things where you think about life and you recognize that, in order to be my biggest fan, there are some roadblocks that I have to get out of the way, whether it is tradition or what what I was taught when I grew up, what people have told me. I'm not attractive, I'm not smart enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not good enough, the idea I have is not going to work. There are things that we have preconceived and have embedded in us that's caused us to have roadblocks and have prevented us from stepping into what we're called to step into and receiving the blessings that have been laid out for us by God. So one of the things that, as your biggest fan, just like a celebrity, would, I remember, with, what is her name? She had the best pies, right? And she had pies that were great. And she had a fan, and I'm gonna tell you at the end of the story her name. But and as I go along the story, you probably already know who I'm talking about. But anyway, she had a fan that had posted on YouTube. He just happened to post, or Twitter, or whatever the social media page was. He posted how good her pies was and how tasty it was, and he was singing as he was eating the pie, jiggling. And he would be like, whoo, singing her songs, woo, party. And it was all over him that he loved him some Patti LaBelle, okay? He loved him some Patti LaBelle. It was all over him. Do you know that, he blew up and eventually, he's a celebrity today. He's a celebrity today. He met, not only did he meet Patti LaBelle, but he went viral. That video went viral. He ended up meeting celebrities, and, he started singing, being a backup singer for celebrities. And that one video and several videos that he made of the I don't know if it was several videos, but it was one video that I knew of, that one video that I told you about, where he went viral. Absolutely viral. And so as a result, his life has changed. All he was doing was being a fan. All he was doing was being his natural self on the video, and it was not even fake. It was just all him. I was cracking up. People fell in love with Patti LaBelle's famous fan. And, she fell in love with him. She met him. They, got interviewed together, and people were asking her, how did she feel when she saw his video and his stream and etc. And she was like, she was amazed. But the point is that, imagine you being your biggest fan like that. You are constantly cheering yourself on. She created a pie, a pie empire. But, you may have a different kind of business that you have in mind. And you can be your biggest fan, and cheer yourself on, and, take yourself out to dinner just to congratulate yourself. You can start the steps on how to start that business and do your research. Go online, do your research, and take the step. Just step out there and take the step. And you will see how amazing it will be to just take a step of faith and do something different. You will be amazed. But we have to be our biggest fan before anyone else can be our biggest fan. I'm pretty sure that Patti LaBelle was her biggest fan before she became a singer, and before she became a celebrity. I'm very sure that, in order for you to receive that love, you've got to really, really have that love already on the inside of you for yourself. So that's my biggest word to you today, would be to consider those ways that you are your biggest fan. What do you do for yourself to show yourself, hey, I am your biggest fan? What do you say to yourself to support yourself? A lot of times we are very, very hard on ourselves, very, very hard on ourselves. And it's hard to really shake off criticism when you get it. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. You'll get criticism wherever you go, whatever you do. But if you do what is in your heart and what God has called you to do, you will never, ever, regret not doing it, when you come to the end of your life, when you're on your deathbed. I hate talking about death, but it's something that we all must face one day. We're all going to die one day. And on that day, when we are to leave this earth, are you going to say, I did it all, I am empty, I feel like I did everything that I always wanted to do, and I'm good, I'm ready to go? Or are you going to have regrets? And you don't want to be one of those people, and neither do I want to be one of those people where I'm on my deathbed wishing that I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that. And that's not what we want. So now that we have time on our hands, let's make a difference and let's make a change. Let us make a decision today. We're going to be our biggest fan. You're going to be your biggest fan. You're going to push yourself to do what you have always wanted to do, what you've been postponing, that book you've been wanting to write, that song you've been wanting to produce, that painting you've been wanting to paint, that person you've been wanting to call, that friend you've been wanting to call to see how they're doing. There's so many things, that hobby that place you've wanted to travel to. There's so many things that is in your spirit. I'm pretty sure that you've been wanting to do that, is on your bucket list. So yeah, create that bucket list, write it down and start checking it off as you go along. Let me know how that works for you. Just wanted to leave you with that word, that you are your biggest fan. And you are going to follow you wherever you go. So hey, you might as well, be on your team and be happy for you and to cheer you on and to pat yourself on the back and let yourself know that all is well with you. Anyway, until our next video, you guys have a great day. As always, it's always good to share my thoughts. And I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a counselor, but you know what? It's all about energy. It's all about, living in the spirit and being the best that you can be. Have a great day. Until next time. Bye.